Hi, my name is Tina Fenton, and I am going to give my presentation on Dr. Fiddle's analysis for and his practice, and if the hospital should acquire his practice. So the overview of this presentation will pretty much just go over the analysis of questions. Question number 1. Does the practice generate enough cash to cover its current obligations? Based on the financial statements, the 2014 numbers calculate that the practice does not have enough to cover its current obligations. The liquidity current ratio states that the practice has enough to cover the obligation 1.42 times, also showing a worse trend from 2013 of 1.68 times. The obligations will still be covered. Next question. Is the practice likely to be able to meet its long-term obligations as they become due? The practice will not be able to meet its long-term obligations that become due because of the debt to total assets ratio. The ratio shows the practice has a 96% debt to total assets ratio, therefore showing the income does not match or balance the expenses of the practice. Question 3. Is the practice increasing its patients encounters and collecting its accounts receivable in a timely manner? The practice is not increasing its patient encounters and collecting its accounts receivable in a timely manner. The trend for the inventory turnover ratio was worse. Based on the calculations from 2013 to 2014, the turnover ratio went from 13.3 times to 10.3 times. Also, the average collection period shows a ratio of 60.8 days in 2013 versus 89.1 days in 2014, displaying the collection period increasing. The fixed assets turnover ratio displayed an increase in days from 2013 to 2014, gaining from 5.15 days to 6.49 days. The total asset turnover showed a trend of it getting worse from 2013 with 1.97 days to 1.64 days in 2014. What is the practice's net worth or equity, and is it improving? Is the practice improving its profitability on a sustainable basis? Equity was better in 2014, showing an increase. So if you see in this chart to my right, it shows the practice, the equity, the profit margin on revenue, the return on total assets, and the return on equity, and the differences between the 2013 numbers and the 2014 numbers. So again, equity for 2013 was $7,660 versus 2014, it increased to $8,173. The profit margin on revenue displays an increase in 2014, from a negative 6.7% in 2013 to 0.2% in 2014, showing that it did improve. The return on total assets displays a negative trend, showing it got worse in 2014, with negative 13% in 2013 and 0.3% in 2014. The return on equity shows that it is improving due to a massive increase in 2014. With negative 294% in 2013, increasing to 6% in 2014. Overall, those trends show the practice is improving. How might the hospital's acquisition of Dr. Fiddle's practice impact the future financial performance of the practice itself? The acquisition of the practice by the hospital will impact the future financial performance by adding additional doctors to the practice, therefore allowing for more patients to be seen, which results in an increase in revenue. It will also bring it into the institution system, allowing the financial decisions to be a corporate responsibility, figuring out purchasing and staffing. The doctors will become hospital employees and will be paid fixed salaries and will provide structure for the healthcare practice. With all factors considered, do I think it is a good idea for the hospital to acquire the practice? Overall, I do believe the practice will be a good idea for the hospital to acquire. These are my reasons. Based on Don's notes, the practice is considered to be in a prime location. It also acquires more than 250 inpatient admissions and 1,100 outpatient diagnostic and surgical procedures per year. The financial statements show overall the practice is improving in trend from 2013 to 2014. That is the end of my slideshow. I hope you enjoyed.